What's happening, folks? Welcome to the Ipaintcreatures YouTube channel. This is my second video of the day, producing it for the week, and I'm so glad to start presenting a lot of my story art. This is a great story that I've been working on for a while that eventually will be an Amazon children's book, and it features one of my Matsu main characters, Spectrum Fulbright, and basically, it shows him balancing on a story stone orb, beat bomb, like I like to call them. These magical orbs or stones that make music, and he's definitely holding a very evolved paintbrush instrument saxophone. And he is meeting one of my fond characters in my story, Matsu. That I actually met this gentleman in real life on the internet, and he called himself Silly Rabbit. So he's not with us anymore, and rest in poetics and rest in power. And I keep him alive by bringing forth the Silly Rabbit. And this is a monumental story I'm telling. It's when my story world of Matsu meets the incredible Silly Rabbit. So this is Spectrum Fulbright, fist bumping the Silly Rabbit. But today I'd like to talk to you about a quote by the late, great Helen Keller. And Helen Keller brings so much wisdom because she was basically, blind, deaf, and a mute, and really had to live in the state of the head. No different than all of us because, we all live there, but she prevalently had to live there. So a lot of her quotes are very, very profound. And this one says, "Alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much." And it's so profound that it came from Helen Keller because, she was deprived from a lot of her senses that a lot of us take for granted. Some days I have to make sure I do a lot of gratitude to remind myself that I'm really blessed to have all my senses intact, because it's a real joy to have your senses intact, especially when you're an artist like me, a multidisciplined artist. I work in musical sounds all the way to doing theater and voice acting and directing and making movies, but I also like to paint and draw, and speak a lot of poetry. So, I use definitely all my capabilities of expressing myself, and it's just a wonderful thing. But to hear this from Helen Keller, it really goes back to like my experiences at Lucasfilm. For those of you who know me, I used to work at Lucasfilm, and it was the most incredible experience because I got to work with some of the finest geniuses and artists around the world, and it was a integral part of being in that crew, and I still incorporate it to these days when I meet people on the internet. And I've always been it. I don't know if it's deep in my Japanese heritage. I know in my Japanese heritage is a lot of consensus and using other people's ideas, to draw a conclusion and make it so much broader and creative. And I'm showing you my symphony book, which I like to announce we're under 50 books left physical. So if you'd like to get one, there's information down below where you can just email me directly and I'll send it out to you. But it's a 90-page book of glossy of art. It has a graphic novel on the back and tributes to my inspirations, and definitely tons and tons of my fantastical art and creature art and the story of Matsu. And I could say that I did that whole book by myself, but a lot of it, took a lot of external inspiration from people helping fund it, people helping buy it, people believing in me, and now that they get out in the world, get a lot of feedback that they basically are doing it together. And this quote by Helen Keller also tops into my epic story I'm telling, which was turned into an acronym by a character named Just Illustrations on the web. And Just Illustrations brought me that Matsu means making art together, supporting unity. And so definitely like taking the metaphors of music and the metaphors of filmmaking, and I always say they're not solo sports. You definitely, you can do so little when you're alone, especially, I like to look at things in life as a painted poetic symphony. And I was searching for a metaphor in a lot of my work that would explain the times we live in, and why collaboration is so important, and why you can do so much more and expand more and celebrate with everyone. And like my great friend Bessie Mink, she sings this great song about, humans are social. And I think it's not just because we're alone, or don't like being alone. I think when we match up all of our melodies together, it becomes a great crescendo of a harmony and makes everything so much harmonious, and makes it a wider spectrum. And of course, I grew up on rock and roll and hip hop crews, and so they showed, there's so much more brilliance and expansion in the expression if you do it together. So get out there and make art together, supporting unity. Just like the painting and drawing I was showing you, where the spectrum Fulbright meets the silly rabbit, and a long collaboration goes on in my story, and a lot what I'm doing right now. Check out the Funky Eye Puppets. We have a Discord server. We're getting on TikTok. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram, and we're bringing it all together. And it's a cast of 40 voice actors that we're collaborating. We're entrepreneuring. We're making art together, and we are going to do so much. So check us out, and thank you for watching the video today, and keep on keeping on. Keep on trucking on. Peace. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks for watching the video.